Bob, I know we've talked about him a lot lately, but this seemed like Eric was really effective out there tonight. Would you agree?
Hey guys, can you unmute the mic?
Can you hear me now, Kevin?
Yeah, I got you, Bob.
Yeah, best he's looked so far this season. I think that he looked like he had his legs tonight. He had a lot more jump in his step, and he was, he was sort of the quarterback of a lot of our exits out of the D zone and hitting guys with speed and, just making the right plays. And I think if you rewatch or while you watch the game, you can tell that he simplified it a little bit. And he wasn't trying to thread passes through people's feet. He wasn't trying to, sauce passes all over. He was just making an easy play and following the play up. And I think that's, the best that he's been for sure.
Were you guys looking for a low-scoring game tonight where you just tried to kind of take care of your own end first and then hope the offense would come?
Yeah, we constantly told ourselves over the last 2 days, and we've talked about, is not beating ourselves and giving ourselves a chance. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that tonight. I'll rewatch the game here a little later, but I thought our turnover rate was better. I thought our wall play was better. Our possession time, I think, was a little better. And we just and line changes, as crazy as that sounds and as simple as that sounds, I thought we did a better job of, our shift length and changing and all the fundamentals that we've been talking about is just managing our game a little better and playing the right way as a team and not just 2 lines, 3 lines. And the big thing is we got production out of Patty Marleau's line. They scored a big goal for us, and that helps.
Curtis.
Hi, Bobby. You mentioned the depth, the fourth line coming through there. How important was it to see Marcus, come through in a big moment for you guys?
Yeah, I looked at the ice times a little bit as the game was going, and I knew they were a little light, and that was just because we had some power plays and some timeouts on the power play and 5-on-3s, and so I wanted to make sure I got that those lines going. I like Gambrell's line tonight, and I like Patty's line, and so they were taking good shifts and energy, and Marcus found his nose to the net there, and I believe the third and fourth line created some of our best ozone shifts tonight when we needed it, just at the right time. They jumped over the boards, and they played a little bit of a blue collar style game, which was perfect for us.
I know it's just the fourth game, but how important is it to get some success here against a really good team as you go into Minnesota on Friday?
Extremely important. I think, brings us back to 500, and we knew this trip was going to be a tough trip. And, and more than anything, though, I think, as a coach, you're trying to sell a certain style of play, talking about structure and details and doing the right things at the right times at the puck. And, they could see now that it's a little easier sell when, you got a hard fought win. I think in the third period, I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure we gave up about 4 shots. Which is the style of games that we're going to have to play. We're not a team that's going to, blow teams out. We're going to have play a lot of these close games, and it's a good teaching game.
Shang.
Hey, Bob, you talked about Eric succeeding at simplifying his game. Did you see that from everybody else too, just in terms of, better support up the ice, short passes, and fewer of those risky stretch passes from everybody?
Absolutely. I thought that was, we spent a lot of time talking about the game, last game here, and even at the Arizona games, and and had a lot of individual meetings and talked to guys about their games. And, even Timo, I thought, played a more of a power forward game. I thought that, Kaner as well. I know he got into some penalty trouble, and I think 2 of the calls were so calls. I thought that he was going for the pocket, got his stick tied up, and, but those guys need to be power forwards, and Banker and guys like Donato and Johnny Leonard, they got to be responsible in their own end. I thought besides the 1 goal, we a little bit overskated that puck. I thought even our skilled players played hard defense.
And St. Louis in the last game, they were able to create a lot of speed through the neutral zone at 5-on-5, but tonight you guys seem to really choke that off. What do you attribute that to?
I think tracking, I think working away from the puck. I thought we were guilty of last game, but maybe our F3 or third forward diving in a little bit when 2 guys were already caught, and just working above. And I think that helps the D, be able to stay up and keep gap and squeeze plays off. And I thought our forwards did a really good job. So yeah, if I had to say anything, it's the forwards working above and we didn't let their D beat us up the ice too much, which obviously gaps your own D out. So we try to make sure that we controlled Falk and Pareko and guys like that a little better, coming up the ice.
Thank you.
Michael?
Okay, Coach, 2 shootout victories in this short amount of time. What do you think that does for the confidence for your team in close games, which may happen in the playoffs if they make it?
I think this game is one of those games that we'll take and often refer to our third period, especially. It'd be nice to win in regulation and not have as much stress but I thought the 2 games that what it showed us, the 2 wins, is obviously we're a good 3-on-3 team. We worked in that in camp, believe it or not. We worked a lot in 3-on-3 because we knew that we get in these situations where every point's going to be huge, and we also worked a ton on shootouts. So I'm not saying that's the reason, but we have practiced a lot of that, which is come in handy, and I think it's just a great confidence boost. But more than anything is the way we played, our 5-on-5 style. It's moving forward, we're going to have to replicate a lot of that kind of hockey.
Okay, thanks, Bob. We have Logan Couture up next. Kevin?
Logan, obviously it's no secret that Erik Karlsson's such an important part of this team. When he's skating like that and he's playing effective, how much of a difference does it make in the team game?
Yeah, when he can skate the puck through a lot of people, and he breaks out well, jumps in the offense. We need to do a better job as forwards of finding them in that ice in our own end. I think in the first period we were flipping too many pucks on the half wall in the middle of the ice when we could have given it to our D-man like Erik, and he could have skated it out of trouble like he did in the second and third there a lot. So it was nice to see.
Curtis?
Logan, is this kind of this kind of game, this low scoring game, kind of the blueprint for what this team has to do this year to be good teams like St. Louis?
I think so. I think after last game, both teams really wanted to tighten up defensively. You go back 2 games ago for both teams as well. They gave up 8. We gave up 5 in Arizona. So we wanted to tighten up. They wanted to tighten up defensively. We still had a few breakdowns. They still had a few breakdowns. It's early in the season. That's going to happen. But I think in the third period, we played the style of hockey we wanted to play. Obviously, throughout the game, there's a lot of penalties back and forth. It was tough to get a flow going. But I liked our third period for sure.
Shang?
Logan, especially defensively in the last game, St. Louis created a lot off the rush through the neutral zone. Tonight, it seems like you guys really cut that off. Bob said a lot of it was because the high forward, the third forward, was more responsible. What was your view of that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those rush chances and breakdowns are because our forwards aren't there to help our D have their gap. If the D look up and they see 3-on-2, they're going to give up the blue line easily and protect the middle of the ice. But if we have a forward that's tracking, pushing the puck out of the middle of the ice, and the D can stand and they can slide over and kill plays. And unfortunately, the other night we were turning pucks over in their end. I know Boogie said we're giving up too many chances that start 200 feet from our net, and it may sound crazy, but it's true. When you turn pucks over, you get 3 guys caught below the tops of circles, and our D are in a tough position, and that's what we were doing to them. So tonight, I thought we did a better job as forwards, tracking through the neutral zone and forcing their players to make plays under pressure, and then giving our D a chance to stand.
Any other questions here? Michael?
So Logan, 2 shootouts, and this time it was a little bit more difficult. Everyone's getting blocked. So what do you think this is doing for your medal as you guys go on in the year to have these types of games this early and be victorious both times?
Yeah, I mean, we need points any way we can get them right now. So regulation, overtime, shootout, whatever it takes. It's tough to give a point to a team in the division, but right now we're playing on the road for an extended period of time. When you're on the road, you gotta scrap and pick up points any way you can get them. So happy that we were able to find 2 tonight.
Okay, thanks, Logan. We'll have a couple more players coming up next. We have Evander Kane. Any questions here? Shang?
Vander, Bob said that a couple of those calls on you he thought weren't the best calls. Just in your opinion, tonight, did you think you were on the wrong end of some bad calls, or just a tough game for you? You just move on in that aspect.
I know it was a parade of the penalty box all night. Seemed every time there's any sort of a battle, my stick was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So unfortunate. Boys did a great job killing the penalties and bailing me out there, and just try to be better next game with the stick.
Curtis?
Commander, obviously you'd like to see the power play have a little more success going forward, but generally speaking, is this kind of the blueprint, the way that the Sharks have to play this year against really quality teams like St. Louis?
Yeah, I mean, I thought 5-on-5 we spent a lot of time on our end again tonight. Joner made some big saves. Obviously, we got some great kills, and Mario and Marcus connected there, which was a big goal in the second to tie the game, and we were able to hold them off in the third and come up with the extra point in the shootout there. So it was a greasy win per se on the road, and we'll take it, but we definitely need to be better and spend a lot more time in their end.
Michael?
Hey, Evander, 2 clutch wins for you guys, shootouts. But you guys had a moment where you had 5-on-3 and you couldn't score. And so both of these moments, you guys gave up a point. So is there frustration there, even though you guys got the 2 wins, but you still gave up a point each time?
Yeah, I mean, the first 5-on-3, we had the penalty route to face off. I think there was like 20 seconds on that 5-on-3, and then the last one I think we only had 11 seconds. So and we lost the draw. So 5-on-3s, but not a lot of time to work with. Like I said, we definitely didn't do enough to probably win in regulation, because we just didn't spend enough time in their end, obviously because of penalties and 5-on-5 play. But like I said, I don't think we're going to complain about getting 2 points against a good hockey team on the road, and try to spend a lot more time when we get to Minnesota in their end.
Okay, thanks, Evander. We'll have Ryan Donato up next momentarily.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks. Which one am I sitting in? That one, yeah.
Curtis?
Ryan, can you kind of take us through that overtime sequence there? It kind of looked like you got a little just kind of stuck in the crease, and can you kind of take us through what exactly happened there?
Yeah, so obviously, well, I started by trying to make a play to Carly and actually got a pretty fortunate bounce. And when Carly has the puck, you got to get open. So for me, I just tried to drive the net, and he brought the goalie out because the goalie thought he was going to shoot it. And I was thinking that he might try and slide it short side on that post. It's not his fault. He's got eyes in the back of his head. So any chance you have to score, you try to get there for him. And obviously he had something else in mind. And when you're at the front of the net, it's sometimes hard to tell exactly how deep you are. And obviously he hit banker, and your instant reaction is just to screen, be in front of the net. I didn't realize how far or how deep I actually was. And I mean, naturally, you're not really supposed to skate away from the front of the net. That's where goals are scored. So for me, it's just a hockey play, and it's an unfortunate bounce. I mean, a second earlier or a second later, if I got out of the way, or even if the puck went in before he was even back in the crease, it's a different game. But I'm happy we got the shootout win.
I think Bob said he was happy with all the lines played tonight. How did it feel up there with Logan and Kevin? And do you feel it's kind of important for you to stay maybe in a top 6 role for this team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just opportunity wise, it feels great. And the more chances that you get, the more comfortable you get. And obviously there's always a little uncomfortability. That's what makes guys push themselves. But playing with those guys, it's pretty easy. I mean, Banker can see the ice, he can score, and Couch has been a guy that's had a lot of success. So for me, I just try to lean on them as much as I can and create offense, and also play a full 60 minutes defense-wise too.
Kevin?
Hey, Ryan, Bob said, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago that you were maybe a shootout specialist. And I know it didn't drop for you tonight, but is that a part of your game that you've kind of worked on? And you know, these games are so important because they're all division games. Do you welcome that chance to keep getting a shot in the shootout?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every guy wants to go in the shootout, right? I mean, it's a chance to help your team win the game and get that point, which makes a huge difference down the road. And I think as a kid growing up, it's just something that's fun to practice. I mean, you always have guys skating and doing the hard things too, but when it comes to the fun things, I always seem to practice those a little bit more as a kid, and having those chances to have those shootouts and breakaways growing up and getting the chance to do them now, it feels pretty comfortable. And obviously it didn't go the way I wanted tonight, but hopefully I can have more success in that.
Shang?
Ryan, you're new to playing with Erik Karlsson, of course, and the first game of the season, he would admit wasn't his best, but tonight, of course, he was dominating. And so, just what was just sort of your view of just watching him just at work tonight?
I mean, there's nobody like him, right? I mean, he can do everything. He's a fantastic player, and obviously a guy that you want to learn from. I mean, he finds plays, he creates space, he does a lot of things that even to hockey players, like it's hard to understand, but he finds ways to do it. And I mean, it's just fascinating to watch. And sometimes it's hard to kind of focus and worry about yourself during the game. And but sometimes it's just he does dominate at times, and that's the Carly we need.